Wednesday video. Where's the Wednesday video? It is Friday the 26th, which I cannot believe, Janine, that we're nearly at the end of November.
Can't believe. Yeah.
How are you doing today anyway, before we get started?
Super good. Finally got my nails did. So
They're
I'm in
beautiful.
Ashley's spot. Yeah, I didn't have time to go home, so I'm utilizing Ashley's beautiful backdrop.
Lovely. And your nails.
So I'm doing good. So far, so good.
So far, so good. And it's nearly the weekend. So, well, this week, I've been speaking to a few people this week, and a lot of us, like I've heard sort of you and actually Ashley saying last night on her great show with Jean-Claude on Beyond Mystic. I love that, Ashley and Jean-Claude, great show. A lot of people up and down because the tensions quite literally, we've got storms everywhere. We've got a huge storm coming in the UK, which we'll talk about. I know I haven't listened to it all, but you and Ashley have just put up a video talking about the flooding, etc., which I hadn't heard of at all. I haven't seen that on the news.
Oh boy.
Lots of shifting of energies, and even I think my animals are definitely feeling something in the air tonight. So let's hope it's good stuff in the air. Yeah. But it's been a bit of a week. But I thought before we started on all the questions, perhaps we could, obviously it was Thanksgiving for everyone, all our friends in America yesterday. So I wondered if we could ask the cards what message they've got for us all that we want to be thankful for at this moment in time.
Okay, that's a great one. So both of these are air sign, and this is gossip and innuendo and or getting the word out, but it's not always truthful. It can be a little tricky. And then we've got an ace of swords. So we're going to be hearing a lot more. So we're asking about what can we be thankful for? I got a feeling the mainstream media is compromised by the good guys. We've known for a long time, we know they were working on it, and I always thought they were like moving in sort of from the outside in. Surrender. So they're going to finally take them down. So that's our good guy card. So they're working on taking them down altogether. And I think they had a plan all along how they were doing it. And I feel like there's quite a lot of evidence around that. And we were going to talk about that what relates to that Phil guy and what he was saying. Phil guy on Rapid Fire.
Yeah, this moves so nicely onto my next question. And look, everyone, Fluffy Duffy is really excited by that as well. Fluffy Duffy there next door has just started reading. She's got good taste. She's just started reading my new book, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a real Anthony Fauci. So she's got good taste, haven't you, Duffy? So you always lead so beautifully on to the next question. Anyone would think we have planned this, and we haven't. So one of our favorite, we can only say his name's Phil from Rapid Fire. So use your creative. Those of you who don't know what we're talking about, please don't put loads of comments in the comments afterwards. Who is it? Use your journalistic skills and find him. Yep. If you look on Rumble, Phil and Rapid Fire, you will find him. So he did a brilliant video, I think it was yesterday, that we both listened to, and he was looking at the whole scenario of the Rittenhouse interview with Tucker Carlson and the supposed infighting between Linwood and Sidney Powell and some of the others. And he's got a brilliant, I would really encourage everyone to watch that video because I thought it was fantastic. Now, one of the things that we were saying is, could this be, that whole trial, a marker for exposing the mainstream media?
Yep. So that's what we got. Several times I looked at it. Did we look at it last week?
Not that specific bit. We looked at other aspects of it, but we didn't look at it in that regard. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was certainly looking like that, but Phil pretty much gives us intel on how that is so.
Yeah.
Also that all of the infighting, it was a marker as well, and none of it's real. And he stresses over and over in that video that you are watching a movie and all of this is not real. It is truly the takedown. They're taking down the baddies, and this is how they're doing it. They're taking over mainstream media. And he even figured that that was a huge marker for the takedown of the mainstream media, because they actually allowed Tucker Carlson on Fox News to speak with this Rittenhouse. And then that fellow calls out a bunch of patriots. And Phil says all of those guys are good friends. So the infighting is just a marker to sort of, it's a symbol.
It's a symbol. And you know, a lot of these things, these markers, and you know, it's so sort of controversial. You can imagine the other side must be thinking, what the hell's going on? What do I, because we've all been saying all along, we don't know what to believe. And the one thing that I know for sure is that everything we see written down, and a lot of what we're seeing in film. Now, if you're having a face-to-face conversation in real person that can't be edited on screen and green screens and everything else, that's different. You can read their energy. But this is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So can we ask the cards if there's any other message that we need to know about that situation, because it's pretty big?
So it looks like it was also a marker for a big arrest.
Right.
So that's something we've been wishing for happened, and it's marking justice being served.
Fantastic.
So that's interesting, and that they're working on. So it's part of them saying, it's like marking where they are in there, because all of these things have to go down before the next thing goes down. This is apparently how it works in these situations. So they had to achieve this, and this. So apparently the Kyle situation and the way it went down, how they overtook. So I believe Kyle started out to be a black hat op. They were trying to pit race against race again, one of those kind of situations. And of course, it got hijacked by the good guys, and then the whole thing got switched. So the narrative totally surprised a lot of people, because the mainstream media got outed as, because they already had hung the guy pretty much. Right.
And
so
Candace Owens tweets on that, Janine, are the funniest ever, because she's like, how can people be so stupid? How can you turn the people that he killed were white and you're turning it into a race issue? It's like,
so they turn it into a race. Yeah, so they already had it all staked out as a big psyop to continue their agenda, and it got hijacked. The whole thing got hijacked. So I think things are so confusing right now. It's important to stay focused on your vision of the future, and in your own personal life, create a good space for yourself, because nothing's going to make sense.
Yeah.
Nothing's making sense. Okay.
Fantastic. So and on that note, okay, so my next question is regarding Amazon. So there's been a couple, now there might be loads of other things I haven't noticed because I tend not to use them, but Robert Kennedy's book is now on there. And so for the first time ever is Dr. Andreas Kalka, who's got his brilliant forbidden health book that talks about the substance that I'm not the party substance, the good substance that I'm always drinking, that I can't mention here. Now, he's never been on Amazon before, and in the last 2 weeks he's just gone on Amazon. So can we ask the cards if Amazon is under white hat control now? I was so excited when I saw them on there, because this just doesn't happen that they can get their stuff on there.
Oh yeah.
Fluffy Duffy.
So it's completely changed hands from these nefarious fellows to, and it looks like some off-worlders are in charge of it somehow, if that makes any sense. So you're going to see a lot more, because this card says it goes totally full circle and goes through a gateway, and it's completely on a whole new level. So it's on a whole new level. It used to be this is all hidden agendas, and we know who used to, run that. Okay, but it's going to a much more healing, and maybe even there's some off-world wisdom influence. We're going to start seeing a lot of that. we'll likely see a lot of things that have been repressed start showing up there.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's just really weird. In all the years I've been looking, never seen that on there. So that's really, again, amazing. So we have got a few questions now that I will just run through from very concerned listeners in various parts of the world, some of which I haven't asked about before. So Cyprus, I don't know if you've read on Cyprus at all recently, but Cyprus is in quite a weird situation because they're introducing mandates for children 6 and above to wear these and to have tests. But they've got a unique, well, probably not unique, but a really awkward situation where in Cyprus, homeschooling is illegal and punishable by 3 years imprisonment. So the people in Cyprus have not got the options like lots of other countries have to actually take their children out of school. So can they ask, can we ask the cards what message they've got for Cyprus? I can't believe it's illegal to homeschool. I've never heard anything like it.
Okay, it's going to be like that for a short while. And way good things are coming. Now, here's what's interesting. Even though those things are being, like this card says, you just believe you're stuck. So you're hearing about mandates, you're hearing these, none of it's legal and none of it will stick. You can easily wiggle out of that situation, it says. So I would suggest to people in Cyprus that they start, because I think their government's got a shadow government, like all of them do. And they should stand up to the tyranny. Take your kids out of school anyway, and just use your own personal strategies to get around things, because these guys I think they're puppeting, and like all the governments, they have a puppeted government that's showing you the worst case scenario. And people need to, like, just because something is a law doesn't mean it's legal and right. It's
Absolutely.
not legal and right what they're doing. So don't let, my kids would not be going to school, and like, let them come after you and see what happens. What are they going to put everybody in jail? Let's see them do it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're in a war situation.
And also, they can always be off with stress.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely.
Everywhere now.
Yeah, keep your kids home and tell them a big story. Like, seriously, your kids come first, not little rules and mandates by illegal governments. Everybody's government's totally overstepping, and they're literally trying to genocide your people. Okay, I guess I shouldn't have said that word. But you know, like, we need to buck up.
Yeah, absolutely. So I agree, be creative, guys. You know, you just tell them that your children are too stressed to go to school and they can't get away with a lot under stress. So the next question is about Norway. Now, Norway is a really interesting one, because personally, from the people that are contacting me, I'm hearing real conflicting information. So I'm hearing some people saying it's all fine there, and other people saying it's absolutely terrible there. So we've got a specific question that the Secretary General in NATO, who's a chap called, sorry, Duffy, you have to just wait, Jens Stoltenberg, he's Norwegian. Well, they want to know whether he's a black hat or a white hat. You can't sit there talking, it's on my notes. Good, yeah.
He's been recruited by the White Hats. So he's had a breakthrough. Like, you might not have started out being a white hat, because we got strategy card. So they strategically recruited him from, he might have even been on the bad guy side. So yeah, he's now working for the good guys, regardless what he's appearing to do.
Brilliant.
So he could be puppeted.
Brilliant. I so hope that's really true. Okay, so the next one is from Anna, and it's about the med beds. When are the general public going to hear and see med beds in operation?
So that's a work in progress. Because of course they got them. I think they were in the hands of the bad people for a really long time. I mean, that's how they kept those families going and in
Yeah.
good health, right? So they're held up, but also this probably has something to do with the holdup, might have something to do with they're strategically being used for victims of, like, really obvious victims, like people out of the dumbs, children. Okay, so they're being used for that. That feels like New Year's somehow to me, in the new year.
Okay, that would be
Moving
amazing.
Yeah, I feel like, so this is a great victory, and this like judgment card. So Judgment Day, that almost feels like just into New Year's, just the feeling of it. Because there's going to be a big, so what I get from this is there's going to be a huge revelation that happens. And we, even normal people, understand that these people are being rounded up and judged, processed. I think they're going to find out about the secret tribunals, etc.
Yeah.
Won't be a secret anymore. And they're going to find out. And that after that big sort of, it's going to be pretty dramatic. Things like med beds, they can let that cat out of the bag. Because I would think you have to know what's been going on to even understand a med bed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how they're going to, yeah, like you have to know about what's been going on and how that technology has been repressed from you. And so there a lot of information. That's why the judgment card has to come out first. You know, I'm still feeling like that's on the timeline before Christmas. I'm hoping it's any minute.
So
I'm like imagining it's any minute.
Because when some of this stuff comes out, people are going to need some good news to come with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stuff off. She's knocked so much stuff off my table. Bless her. Okay. The next one is, there was a really big thing this week about you know, Adele, the singer, amazing singer. Have you ever done a deep dive or a reading on her?
We did.
Okay, I didn't see it.
She's bad. She's bad, and it's not her. Like, whoever you think that is, that's not her. So the person they've been parading around, who's half the size and looks completely different, it's not her. Yeah.
How do they do the talent then? Just
they could use CG, like they could, like who knows, like, or do you see her in person? Like, did you in person see her? You know what I mean? It could be all CGI. Think about it.
So sad about that. I love her songs. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Well, I can, but I'm saying, because did you see all the big thing about an audience with Adele with loads of famous people there and everything?
Yeah.
And well, she was on a big interview with Oprah.
Okay, just the fact she was on an interview with Oprah at the Getty.
I know.
The Getty has some of the most nefarious tunnels underneath it. Okay, everything was a signal. The whole thing was a signal. Everything about that, who interviewed her, and like, you get interviewed by Oprah, you better believe you're getting signaled.
Yeah, completely. Oh, it's just so sad, isn't it? Because these people that, someone with, you know, I can remember her when she was first before she was famous, and with her first interviews, and she was so down to earth and so lovely. You're just like, oh God. So is she still with us, the real Adele?
I get she got, so just to speak to that, what you're saying, I get she got recruited to the club by a lover of hers, a badass lover.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody she partnered up with took her into the club. So what did you ask?
Is she still with us on the earth plane, the real one?
Yeah, she is. She looks like she might be telling on her friends.
Good.
Telling on her friends, and it has something to do with wanting to save her family.
Yeah.
And her children. Does she have children?
Got a son.
I think she's concerned about, so she got herself on, you know, like on some program to spill the beans on people she knows.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
We'll be here for you when you come back, Adele. Unless you've done something really awful, then we won't. So, okay, yes, because that was weird. Because I never watch things like that, but I do absolutely adore her voice. It's incredible. So the next question then is about Boris. Now, Boris has been doing some very bundling. Well, I'm saying Boris in inverted commas, or the Womble as I call him. So he's been doing, they have really had a laugh with him this last week with this bundled speech and everything and talking about ridiculous things. Mm-hmm. But can we ask the cards, is the real Boris still on the earth plane?
The blue-eyed Boris, because this guy's brown-eyed.
The real one, yeah. You'd think they get, I mean, you can get contact lenses. It just shows they just don't care if they don't even go to that level of detail.
And I think they're trying on purpose, trying to get people to notice things.
Yeah.
I think they're doing it all on purpose. I mean, have you seen, there's, who's that? Madonna. She did the Instagram. I think it was on Instagram. Somebody was telling me she's like fully nude, I think on Instagram or something, or on some kind of social media. And she's literally looks 22, like she's my age. Okay. So she looks 22 and like has the figure of a 22. Give me a break. Okay. It's not her. Duh.
Exactly.
Hello. Okay, Queen of Swords. And so how did we ask that question?
So is the real Boris still on the earth plane?
Well, we got the world. So that feels like he might have left the earth plane because the world has finished a cycle. Finished it. No, the world. Okay, so we fully came over to the good guy's side is another way I could read it, because then we've got an ace. So yes to your question. Yes, and then we've got he's cooperating fully. He's fully come over to the good side. He's working in the background for the good guys.
Great. That's exactly what I got with my little crystals. Yeah.
Yeah. And now he's funny because ever since that supposed, when he got sick and went to the hospital, and then it seemed like the bad guys got hold of him and they shipped him out fully one of their puppets, but he's been since taken back by the good guys. Seems like he's been fought over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought, Boris, that you've been in such demand? No accounting for taste, is there? So, right. Okay. So we have got next on the list, can we ask the cards, why is no one talking still about the Dominion?
Oh, right. Phil brought that up, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, they are, it is a dysfunctional system, but it looks like they overdid it and found that people weren't, somehow it wasn't working. So talking about it feels like it was turning people off. Right. So they just backed up on it. Yes, it's a dysfunctional function, or like it wasn't functioning during the competition. And yes, it's probably been responsible for all of these illegal competitions all over the world. We'll just call them that. Okay, so it was a big deal in the past, but I feel like they feel like they got bigger fish to fry now.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. It's like a little bit irrelevant. If both your candidates are not what you think, then what's the point?
Yeah, like, because as Phil pointed out very clearly, and so does this Sarge guy. Okay, they absolutely can't have, like, they would never allow an illegal government to actually legally be governing. None of this stuff will stick, you guys, in the US. And I think that's happening all over the world. It sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, that's what I get nonstop. And then Intel's backing it up with these two people with insider intel. And it's like, and when I do cards on both of these, Sarge and Phil, and even people don't like Phil, well, guess what? People's reputations can get smeared.
Yeah.
And you can do dumb things in your past that follow you around. It doesn't mean he's not telling the truth, because I get he is. So I'm going with my cards. I don't care what anybody's little investigation on them. People can write anything. They completely rewrote who, one of the presidents of the United States was, the one just before Trump. You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly.
His whole history's made up. Oprah's history is completely made up. They made up the history of all kinds of people, all kinds of famous people have fake histories, you guys. They're plants. Okay, so guess what? The world isn't what you think.
It's absolutely hysterical. So a few years ago, one of my really good friends, this is so comical because I could not believe they'd given me this, gave me a book for Christmas. The book was Becoming Michelle Obama. I was like, are you joking? Are you joking?
That's perfect. Man, she spelled it right. He spelled it right out there. Big Mike, he told you. He became Michelle Obama.
Exactly. But it was hysterical. I was just like, oh my God. And then I was thinking, do you really want to know how he became Michelle Obama? But of course, that conversation didn't go down very well. So that was really funny. So the next one is on the Ghislaine Maxwell case, which is obviously started. They're just choosing the jury. We're starting to see some bits, but nothing again on the mainstream at all. So can we ask the cards, how influential is this really? And the reason I'm asking, Janine, is, the whole of last year, we were waiting for, first of all, we were waiting for the election, then we were waiting for that to be done, and then we were waiting, and all these things were meant to be major things, and it's all going to happen. We've all been waiting for this for so long, haven't we? So can we ask it, is it going to be worth the wait?
So it's absolutely been repressed leading up to it. And there's a bit of a blackout. So we know that was it the judge who said, okay, the information is too explosive for regular folks. No, we need to know this stuff. But anyway, so they put a big, like, now you're only going to get drawings of them and not, meanwhile, they put the whole, that Kyle guy's trial on every minute of it. Turned out that was all CGI. So that's fascinating.
It certainly is.
My goodness. Fake. Okay, but this is a real thing. This thing's real. So of course they got that all hidden. Okay, so this is going to be worth the wait though. The information that comes out of this is going to be worth the wait, and it'll especially be healing for what they've been doing to the children.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. That's so important, because otherwise it's another big build up, and we need one of these big build ups to actually deliver. And this one is so key to everything. If the judge thinks that's too explosive, just get everyone to watch Fall of the Cabal first, and then they'll be all right. They'll be right with it.
Prerequisite.
Now, interestingly, leading on from that, another one links back to Boris. So Boris's sister. So we've already established that Boris is on the good side now, the real Boris we're talking about, not the puppets. So the real Boris is on the good side. A couple of weeks ago, Boris's sister, his own sister, came out and started sharing pictures of him at university with Ghislaine Maxwell. So can we ask the cards, does that mean Boris's sister is not on the good side, is on the dark side? Or what is the reason? Why would she choose to do that?
Okay, she's completely in the dark about really who her brother is.
Wow.
And I feel like she must be in the dark about it, because she's in the dark, and she thinks she's doing the right thing outing him. She's disappointed in him, and she thinks she's doing the right thing to out her brother. So she's in the dark about who he's really working for. I mean, obviously he's, she could even be buying that's her brother with the
Yeah.
brown eyes. I don't know, right? Like people are fooled by these things. Yeah,
Mm.
she doesn't get that he's working for the good guys, or she just thinks he needs to be exposed for who he is.
Wow, isn't it fascinating? Yeah, really, really fascinating. So what I really excited about, I know I don't want to wish my life away, but when this is out and we're over it, and we've already proven by what happens, the way humans, the way their minds work, something could be so important and major news one week, and the next week most people have forgotten about it and go on to the next thing. So what I can't wait is when this is out in disclosure, for them to then go back and show us really what all these stages and markers meant. It'll be so fascinating, won't it?
It will.
Really hope we get to see some of that. So the next one. Now, I saw this really good little video on our friend David Cohen from Australia's Telegram group. He shares some really good stuff on there, people. So please do go and find him on Telegram. So he had a video of an ex-top secret CIA operative, Joseph Spencer, who was known as the Man in Black. And he was coming out with some really, really good stuff about aliens, about what was really going on, about the duns and things. So can we ask the cards whether this Joseph Spencer is legit? Is his information true? It was also all about how they mind control people and everything as well, because he was.
He's legit. Yeah. And it took a lot for him to come out. And I feel like it was very continues to shock people.
Yeah. He was very brave.
Yeah. And he's probably going to have to go into hiding. Or probably already has. Wow.
I mean, I only saw the one. So that was, I found it. I shared it on my Telegram, folks, if you want to see him. His name's Joseph Spencer, known as the Man in Black. And he's got some really good information. He goes into all of this. But it's really, really raw and honest the way he puts it across, because he explained how he was an orphan and how he, therefore, perfect person to pick. To alter and mind control and the things they got them to do and how they did it. It's really, really interesting, and he's very calm and objective the way he recalls it all now. It's very, very good. So the other thing I've seen this week, Janine, which is very odd, there's been quite a lot of publicity, probably just in the UK, I don't know if it's gone outside of the UK, about Lady Diana again, and about how she was the first to stray in her marriage. Now, when I saw it, my immediate thought was something very soon is going to come out about Charlie Boy and the rest of the royals. And so this, starting up the smear campaign of her again, and you can't believe what you said, what you see.
Yeah.
So can we ask the significance of what this is about, bringing her back up and trying to make her look like the evil party again?
It's interesting because that's total BS. He was never with her in a way. He was, and apparently even on the wedding night, he was talking to, who? Pamela. And he went, even on the whole honeymoon, apparently he ignored her and was totally focused on him and Camilla. So no, he was, that's absurd that they said that, but anyway.
Oh, completely. But it's just interesting that they're trying to smear her again. Why bring that up now anyway?
Lies and innuendo kind of card, especially badly aspected, because I think something's about to come out from the white hat or the good side that's been hidden, the fact that she's still alive. So yeah, they're just trying to counteract. I think you're right. It's really interesting trying to save what's little left of the reputation of Charles. I don't know.
And it's never been popular at all. I mean, he's never, ever been popular with the British public at all. So, yeah, but it was as soon as I saw that, I thought, oh, here you go. You're another distraction technique, etc. So,
yeah.
Okay, we've got a lot of people asking about now. I hope this isn't going to scare you, Janine, because did you know there's a new variant out that's traveling all over the world? Now, I don't want you to panic about it, but they've just announced more travel restrictions and in the UK. So people from South Africa and other places from a few days' time can't travel into the UK. And if they do, they've got to pay these extortionate rates to go for 2 weeks in one of their quarantine hotels. I mean, God, you wouldn't get me in there for £1 million.
That
So
is unbelievable.
yeah, so, and obviously this is huge news everywhere. I don't know, are you seeing any of it at all? Have you heard about this?
No, no.
So just say perhaps it's just in the UK then that they really have ramped it up just the last couple of days. So are they going to succeed in putting the UK into another lockdown before Christmas?
So, oh, surprise, it's all lies. We'll step away from all of these ridiculous things. And that's like, yeah, looking at when to do that. So I don't see any of this stuff holding. I don't see any of it. I feel like all of it will get stepped. I know I've been saying that for a while, but I still get that. So I just got to read what the cards say. And it feels right to me. Like even I went on a road trip again, and you know me and my road. And the road trip was, it really, like, the road looked really bad, just like it looks really bad to the world right now. We're thinking, oh my goodness, we're going to get thrown into these camps. If you're in Australia, if you're an Aboriginal person, you're going to get, yeah. So they're ramping up the stories. A couple of anonymous people wrote, weird that they remain anonymous, writing about their experiences locked in these camps. Okay. Weird, because right at the end they threw in how good the food was, though, even though all of these things. So it's like, okay, something's off about those stories, you guys. Something's off. When I do it, it looks like they might have a few planted. They got people planted having those experiences, so they'll get the word out. I don't
have crisis actors, aren't they? Because
yeah, I don't believe it's true. They're doing the same thing that they did. Or the bad guys did. The good guys are now doing, and it's working though. Okay, and I'll tell you why it's working. The psyche of people are hearing all of this, and it's getting in there. I was talking to a couple family members a couple of days ago, and we were having a big hoopla at my place, and of course we couldn't help it. The conversations were coming up, and but people were a lot more aware of, for instance, adrenochrome and stories about Hollywood, and of course a lot of sarcasm was coming into the conversation. Oh, like everybody's doing these things. Oh, I shouldn't have said that A word. Everybody's doing these things, and to children,
substance, and
yeah, and there's the horrible things happen, but they knew about it.
Wow. Okay.
So it was kind of the tongue-in-cheek kind of conversation, but then I got to say, listen, that stuff's true, and even though you don't believe it right now, this stuff's been going on for years. Yeah. And just you don't personally believe it right now doesn't mean it's not true. And I made them all promise that when the real truth comes out about all of this, they need to come tell me, and like they need to come and shake my hand and say, you were right, Janine. I said,
I'm thinking of saying to my family that they need to deliver a new rescue cat to me with a bottle of champagne. And then I'll be fine, and I won't mention it again. But I do expect a bottle of champagne, family, and I've got room for more cats. A Duffy, it's just kind of, she's so cute. Look at her, Janine.
She's beautiful.
She's beautiful. She's my only non-all black cat. So all my others are black or black and white, but she has got black in her. Okay. So Australia won party with our favorite Ricardo Fossey. We love you, Ricardo.
Oh yeah.
Is he?
I'd like to meet that guy.
So would I. I would really like to meet him. He would have a great party with him, wouldn't we? We really would. He's just amazing. He's just amazing. We love you, Ricardo. So can we just ask, because he's really been ramping it up now. So is he about to sort of take over Australia, his party? Obviously, it's not just him. So.
But he is a natural good leader, and we need more of that. We need more leaders with common sense like that.
It's what I would call a real man.
Yeah, and he doesn't put up with no guff either. No. So if you're gonna, get all woke on him, tell him not to swear.
I love it when he loses it, don't you? It's
it's brilliant. Only a Scorpio and a Taurus with a Scorpio moon would like. I love a good rant, and if somebody's got a true passion behind it and they're telling truth, wow, bring it on. I got a Venus in Aries, so I'm crazy. Ranters, I love it as long as you're honest and you're coming from a true place. Like when you're passionately coming from somewhere, that's beautiful to me to watch.
I must get my chart done. If anyone can recommend me getting who can do my chart, because I'm a Scorpio, but I've got no idea what's rising where.
We'll have to check that out.
Have it done. Yeah.
7 of Pentacles and 8. Oh, well, he's definitely passionate and wants to be and would have done it already. Obviously it's the intention, right? So they're put a lot of things in place, but certain things have to harvest first. So certain things have to go down before they're stuck where they are, because certain things have to happen first. I'm thinking closer to the new year, they might legally take charge.
Brilliant. That's soon enough. That's
January or something. Yeah. So, but that they would have already if they could have, but a whole bunch of things like they have to do things in the right sequence, because it all has to be done properly. And we know that the white hats are all about that. That's why they're using all of these techniques to, make sure everybody moves over a little bit to like, it's almost like the conversation I had with my family members, they've been readied for, on some level, they heard about everything, even the flat earth theory. They're hearing about everything. And this is stuff they had no clue anyone was talking about. And all of a sudden they're all talking about it.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. And one of the members, family's having some health issues, and even saying, while they describe their weird health issues that they're both having been him and partner. Okay, he's even saying, wow, I bet I know what you're going to say. You're going to say it's because of that. And I was like, what do you think? Right? Really? Okay, so they're having these discussions and even broaching things that all of us are talking about. So what does that tell you about their reverse programming?
Yeah.
And people are starting to get, this is how it works. We were programmed that way, so they have to do they have to do their version of it the same way. That's what works. Wow. And it's working, you guys. So when something does break, it'll be a lot easier for these, what we've been calling normies, to actually, it'll sink in a lot more, because it's not like coming right out of left field for them.
Yeah.
They had to do it this way. I get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So final question, you were saying as we started, now we'll have to be careful how we talk about this, but apparently there's a breaking story that on Newsom.
Yep.
And the party substance coming out. Mm-hmm. Now I haven't seen it, but you've been sent it, but I have heard people talking about having seen obviously what you've seen. So can we ask whether this is going to make it onto mainstream at all, any mainstream media? Because that would be huge if it does.
Mm-hmm. I think eventually, maybe not
Mm.
right away, but it's like a soft exposure to working towards when you fully know about what that guy's been up to.
Mm.
Right? So the story's out there and it's doing the same thing. It's like sinking into the, so somebody on some level, they'd see that floating around in those headlines, because the headlines literally says the A word,
Mm.
right? This party substance word. Okay, that he's involved in it. So now a little layer of, okay, elites and politicians. Oh, and that was another theme at the family dinner. Nobody's trusting elites or governments. However, there's still a little bit of resistance, especially around family members involved in the medical system.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're resisting blaming the medical system for what's going on. Definitely blaming the government, though, and saying it's been mismanaged and absurd. And also,
Our
the
government
general,
is here, everyone's turning against Boris at the moment. I mean, he's a complete on number, days are numbered.
it's working. Okay, so instead of just ripping all of those figures out from everybody's feet